Hi, I'm Cherie Krim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I'm running because I love our city. I have the experience and dedication to make a difference here. I believe our government should listen to and work for its people. I will be focusing on our community, our environment, and I will always be an advocate for transparency. On April 21st, vote for me, Cherie. My name is Cherie Krim, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I approve this advertisement.
Well, hello. Happy Monday. It is, can you believe it? October 11th, Columbus Day, Indigenous People Day. It is an awesome day, and we are here today. And I'm so excited to be here with you today. I want to thank everybody who's been watching and the great comments I've been getting on an email. I really thank you for sending me questions and what you want me to look into, because it is important, working here in our area to make sure to share information and to work with each other. So I am so excited to be here as always on a Monday. Today is episode 7. 7 is a prime number. I always have this thing with prime numbers. So looking at the emails, we're going to go through. I had some questions about looking at people who are running for offices, as well as what offices are up for re-election next year in 2022. So I'm super excited, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I think we all know what yesterday was. If you were here, if you lived here on October 10th, 2018, you 100% know what yesterday was. Yesterday was the anniversary of Hurricane Michael. And Hurricane Michael, just like 9/11, it has a very particular thing for people when it comes to where were you during that time. And I had been evacuated. I was on the beach, and evacuation was mandatory because that's where we thought everything was going to hit. So if you've never been in the place where you have to decide within a day, I mean, I knew that the hurricane was coming, but we didn't think it was going to be as strong. So, you have to think about, what would you pack? What would you take with you? What is the most important things in your life to go with you? And that day I learned I didn't have to fill up my car. I took what I needed. And as 12:30 and Hurricane Michael rolled over downtown Panama City, Mexico Beach, and Bay County, and what it did, I was in Alabama, and I could see the clouds going, I wonder what is going on there. And I remember, and it was so funny. I remember I went back to my hotel room, and I went in, and I was watching the news, and Mayor Mike Thomas, I saw him on the news, and he talked about how his restaurants were okay. Of all things, of course, the mayor talking about the beach, but he was talking about his restaurants were okay. So I knew at that point I was going to be fine, because I lived right between his two restaurants. But trying to get back from that, and if you ever have somebody who wants to tell you the story, I really listen to people's stories, because it is an unbelievable thing that happened here in Bay County, and we are still recovering from it. And I know that people struggle every day still because of this. So I want you to know that there are people out there that care. And I know that there is rental assistance available. There are lots of things available for people in Bay County. We just need to make sure people know how to get them. So 211, if you don't know, 211 is the United Way phone number, and you can call them and talk with them, and they'll be able to tell you what type of assistance is available for you based on your circumstances. So I do want to put that out there, because there's a lot of government funding that is available here that can help people. And honestly, I don't believe anybody wants to live in a hotel night after night, to be kicked out, to have to come back, to be kicked out. It's no fun. And nobody deserves to be like that and to have that. And there is assistance here in Bay County. And I am so happy all the time with all the people here in Bay County that are just so grateful. What they do on the 850 Meet the Need, what on the Facebook page, what people do, we are a kind community. We just need to make sure that we lead with kindness all the time. So speaking of leading with kindness, oh my goodness. So October 2nd, this was a really fun time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share here. I don't know. I think I took myself off the screen for a second. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. I have some great, the News Herald took some amazing photos. I'm going to go here and put this up here on the screen. The News Herald took some amazing photos of the Women's March that took place back on October the 2nd. So I wanted to just share this with you because this happened and it's really important for us to understand why. So many great pictures by the News Herald. You will see joggers past dozens of residents, dozens of area residents. Well, I will tell you, it wasn't dozens. It was over 150. I love how that came out that way. But looking at this, yes, that's me. So my shirt actually said, keep your filthy laws off my silky drawers. Kind of a, Grease reference right there, but it really is anything that's going to be made here in the state of Florida that is going to cause any more issues, or I shouldn't say issues. Women are allowed to do what they want to with their bodies. It is my body, my choice. And we have heard that so many times, my body, my choice, especially around the mask mandates. And I got to tell you, the amazing signs that people came out with, that they brought with them, keep abortion safe and legal, my body, my choice. You guys can see us I didn't realize there was a drone out there. So that was really cool to have that show up. I will tell you this, right here is somebody, we had a lot of people out there that this is not the first time that they've been out there protesting Roe versus Wade and all of this craziness with abortions. I've yet to figure out why we have such an issue and why men want to control women's bodies so much. But speaking of which, stop telling women what to do with their bodies. Don't call yourself pro-life if you only value certain lives. We had Christine Smallwood speak, which was amazing. And I don't think they have a picture of Dr. Carolyn Zonia. She also spoke. We definitely had an enormous response from people, emails, everything that they sent to me, because we need to defend the right to choose. It is a woman's right on what to do with her body. And Roe versus Wade was decided 2 years before I was born. And we are still here today with Roe versus Wade coming up and people trying to take time with it. It makes no sense, but this is where we are because men want to control bodies. So, but then you have these great men right here who are there, her body, her choice. So it was amazing day. I do want to go ahead and I think, stop the war on women. The runners were hysterical. They were really great for us the entire time. This is what a feminist looks like. I have this march brought out a lot of different, a lot of people, a lot of new people that may have not done this before. And I have to tell you, right there shows just so amazing that that's, where we're at now. We know that we have to take a stand and for women's rights, especially reproductive rights, because it is my body, my choice. Yes, you heard me. I'll say it again. Men need to stop making rules what to do with my body. So I have 2 posters. So this is my favorite one because, stop telling women what to do with their bodies, because that's certainly impressionable. But I did not make this next one, but I love the things that you end up after a thing. Why not pass laws to control men's body? Imagine if women were out there trying to say, God doesn't want you to take Viagra. God doesn't want you to take Viagra, so therefore you can't have Viagra. Because we want to regulate a woman's body where a woman can only hold a baby, once a year? But a man can impregnate how many women? See, it's the double standard. It is the blatant misogyny, patriarchy that our world is. And I understand you're going to say that you want to call the whether it's a fetus, embryo, it is not a baby. It is not alive. We all know first, we all understand that. But where this whole argument goes wrong is that it's about saving and doing what's right for something that doesn't even belong to you. This is not your baby. This is not your baby. Why do you get to decide what happens to it? Right? If you really, really cared, you would let them do what they want to do. Each family, each person gets to decide, right? If it's a man's body and he can decide what he wants to do with it, I'm going to do the same thing with my body. Now, the part of the Texas law that is the most, I think the hard part is the vigilante part of them going after people if they take people to get abortions. Yeah, no. So is Florida doing the same thing? At this point, yes, Florida has filed a bill that is similar to what is in Texas. But what is probably going to happen is that is going to change. So on December 1st, the Supreme Court is going to hear a case from Mississippi around abortion at 15 weeks. So what Florida might do, where Texas, let me tell you, Texas women right now are pissed. Nobody wanted this because this is not something that people really want to mess with. When you look at the polling, most people believe in a woman's right to choose. And that abortion is legal and Roe versus Wade did it. And we shouldn't be out here fighting over this still. Most people believe that. Unless you are really convinced that there's only one way. And I will tell you, that's a lot of brainwashing out there that we want to believe that there's only one way to do things. But I understand. I'm not going to say anybody's beliefs are wrong, but your beliefs should not tell me what I can do with my body. Keep your beliefs to yourself. That's for you and your family. What I decide to do with my body, with my pregnancy, is my decision. And whoever I decided to get pregnant with, if they know or if they're even still around. Because let's also talk about this. So I know the part about the no rape or incest clause. We don't have one of those already. If you're under 18 and you're trying to get an abortion and you have to ask your dad for permission, even though he was the one who raped you, you have to take him to court to be able to get an abortion. That is the fact in the state of Florida. Now, think about this. If I cannot get an abortion until a man has violated me, is that really something that is right? That means that I only have my own body, my own bodily autonomy if a man violates me. It's messed up. That's not the world I want to live in. I say this in the best way ever, but this isn't the world that I have lived in. Fighting over this, yes, we've always had both sides, but we've allowed it. We are okay. But now we have such a strong group of people. I shouldn't say strong. It's not that big. It's loud. And that's where it comes down to, because they've always not wanted abortion. Let me tell you, it's not that abortion's going to go away. The safe and legal abortions are going to go away. So for the Women's March, if you didn't get to go watch my speech, it's out there. But one point that I made that I found is really important for everybody to understand. Prior to the end of slavery, white women had no problem going and getting an abortion. It wasn't until after slavery ended there was a problem. Think about that. And why is that way? Because, oh my goodness, Black women would have to be able to have an abortion too. And up until that part in history, white slave owners raped Black women to make more slaves. And that right there is history that we don't want to talk about. And that is, it's the truth. So abortion wasn't an issue. And then it became one. You see, your religious beliefs do not affect my life. Your body, your choice. My body, my choice. You have your own opinion. I have mine. I have science. I have facts. You have some beliefs that you might believe But it comes down to that. It's not just that. It comes down to, why does everybody want to control a woman's body? Because they want the baby. But yet, how many children are in foster care? We don't have enough foster parents here in Bay County. We don't need any more children being born that doesn't have a family. Why do we want people to have kids that can't afford them, to only put them into poverty? Oh, hey, maybe that's part of the reason why we have such a high poverty rate here in Bay County. Women keep having, I don't know. Good idea. Let's look into it. Let's figure out what's going on. So Women's March, this is not going away. The Supreme Court, like I said, is going to be the Mississippi case in December, but that will, just because they're hearing it in December, the decision won't be for another 6 months. So this is not going away, and we need to keep vigilant on this and keep writing our congressmen and doing the things and making calls. And yes, my body, my choice. You've said it. Now I want it. I have DeSantis saying my body, my choice on video. I think we all do. So it is my body, my choice, right? All right. Next up, Neil Dunn. Thank you, Congressman Neil Dunn. As always, Neil Dunn does not disappoint. I love Neil Dunn. This week, we're going to watch an awesome video from him where he talks, and he does a really good job talking about, and I'm going to share the whole screen with you guys instead of me on the side here. We're going to share the whole video of Neil Dunn. So Neil Dunn, he's talking about, inflation is out of control when even Dollar Tree is considered raising their prices. Help me show Washington how inflation is impacting you. All right, let's listen.
Washington's frivolous spending is hurting you. I'm sure that you've noticed that the prices are going up at the gas pump, the grocery store, and even services. We now have the highest inflation level since 1991. Some of my colleagues in Washington don't see this. They don't feel it. I need you to help me by sharing your story. And you can do it at this email address, shareyourstory.done@mail.house.gov. Once again, that's shareyourstory.done, D-U-N-N, @mail.house.gov. Help me show Washington how you are suffering from inflation. I'm Neil Dunn, your doctor on the Hill.
So I'm just going to take this side by side right this moment, and let's just talk about where Neil Dunn is standing, talking about how inflation is affecting us while he's standing in a very rich area right there. Is that his house? I don't know where he's at, but Neil Dunn is not having an issue with this. Let's be clear about this. Neil Dunn's doing this so that he can get some Facebook views, whatever it may be. But let's go read some of these comments, because I really got to tell you, thank you, Bay County. You don't disappoint. I say this every time. We do amazing things here. So you've got, of course, ignorance is bliss. Anyone that believes one thing that guy says is a fool. Then, of course, you got everything was better under Trump, because we always got this. And the leftists are destroying the country on purpose because they don't care how much anyone is suffering. This is not true, but all right, got it. So then you've got the Trump GOP, of which Dunn is part of, is about provoking outrage through deceit. Whether it's about inflation, its attempt to overthrow American democracy or prevent local school boards from doing their jobs, or even horse paste and hydroxy, hypnotized by hustlers, shutting up its shrinking base with fake grievance. The WSJ editorial board said it all last week. The GOP should just stop chasing him down rabbit holes. Oh my goodness. You can just keep going. It never, it never disappoints, right? So retired folks don't have any more income coming in. We absolutely know that. But this one's even better, right? Perhaps you could have a macroeconomist, I cannot get the word out today, macroeconomist come to your office and explain how and why inflation happens. Maybe they can also explain monetary policy and how supply chain disruptions can affect economies, right? So, it's so funny because it's like we didn't have poor policies before the last election. I sure think we did. And as an example, and they talk about Ronald Reagan, who changed the policy, this is economics. And Neil Dunn really did I freaking know that is not how it works. We've got supply chain issues. Joe Manchin said $3 trillion is too much because he doesn't want to create an entitlement society, but his big pharma CEO daughter raised the price of EpiPen by 500%. So maybe Manchin doesn't understand what entitlement really means. It really is amazing to watch these things come out, right? Of course, there's inflation. Republicans have tried to make this pandemic last as long as it can. You are the cause. Raise the debt ceiling. The Republican Party is for the rich. Do you actually care about the average citizen? You're right, but they don't realize that the wealthy and the Republicans don't care a fig for the working person. So you're saying Biden doesn't have rich cronies? Of course he does. Brandon was a bad dude. I mean, this is ridiculous. Free market doing its thing. Washington doesn't care. We've been here ever since going off the gold standard, turned to shit. Gotta love it. More lies. It's called supply and demand. Oh, this pandemic has exposed the serious flaws in our capitalistic supply chain. Sadly, instead of fixing the problems, capitalists have chosen just to raise the prices. So, it's funny. I have I know you can see a diploma behind me on this side. I went the wrong way because opposite here on the thing. Economics was one of my favorite topics, especially in graduate school. I had a really good economics teacher who was from Pennsylvania when I was at Texas Tech. And we had a lot of discussion, right? It's just like people complaining that they can't find people to hire, but they want to pay $9 an hour. Now it's $10 an hour here in the state of Florida, right? This is supply and demand, right? And we have these things set up and we believe in a capitalist society, right? So supply and demand, free market, this happens. There's supply chain issues right now. There's a lot of issues going on, even here in the port in Panama City. We have stuff that can't get out. Now, why are we here on that? Because we were so slow for so long with COVID. And, when you just can't come out of something and go full force. It doesn't work that way. And you can't expect people to go work for a crappy job. Now that they know that they can make more money somewhere else. I mean, Dodge's Chicken is offering $20 an hour. Think about that. Dodge's Chicken, $20 an hour. That means we have something going on here in our town. And it's awesome because things are looking up. So thank you, Neil Dunn. I always appreciate you. Go get an economics lesson. That would be helpful. And thank you for always stoking the fear and putting it out there. I would let you know, and maybe somebody in your PR team could actually just put the email address up on the screen instead of you reading it out multiple times, because that didn't help anybody. On the screen would have been much better. Just a helpful tip there. So I need us to go to George Gaynor now, because George Gaynor didn't disappoint this week. And when I say that, oh my goodness, George Gaynor and Hurricane Michael. So as we were talking about earlier, we just went through, it's our anniversary of Hurricane Michael. And we know that it was bad. And so Senator George Gaynor went and he has this great article that is out here. And I want to go ahead and I'm going to go through that really quickly here. So on October 10th at 12:30 p.m., Hurricane Michael made landfall. The tens of billions in damages pale in comparison to the width and depth of pain from the loss of our family, friends, and neighbors. We lost 49 lives in our community that day. And I think every single person who survived Hurricane Michael will agree this was the hardest time we have ever gone through. So, yes, many improvements have been made along the way. And you will see that, but not all of them have been good ones. We have a long way to go. Affordable housing and reducing the flooding of the local community. We may have taken out the trash, but the drainage still needs work. We need more competition in local housing and apartment areas to drive down costs. Allowing monopolies to take root is not a good thing. Too many community leaders taking kickbacks and playing good old boy games. Agreed, we're experiencing flooding, right? You always have one bird in the flock. Hat thinks there is a statement that only one matters. Mrs. Anderson must be informed. Pathetic words. Our community came together, neighbors helping neighbors. Hard to believe many are still fighting the insurance company. Then you, of course, got to have the question, how many community have been lost in COVID? And it was a lot more than 49. Thank you. For many have forgotten. Busier than usual, 49. I call that bull crap. What? Oh, wow. Yep. So I want to thank you, Senator George Gaynor, because, we did have that. And, I want to go ahead and run real quickly because he also pointed out that, I went right back up to the top, all of the money that DeSantis came and gave for awarding to the Florida Panhandle. So let's be clear, and I'm going to come back on here on screen real fast. Let's be clear. The money DeSantis is giving to our county is money from the federal government that has been given to him to give out. And right there, it's not his money. So he was given the money to give out because we had these issues. So looking at the matching funds, right? We talk about the backup power, just looking at some of these, right? Area of Bay County to relocate an aerial water line, understand that. To construct a safe room at the Bay County Sheriff's Office, provide shelter for up to 125 staff members following an emergency event, construct a potable water line again, city had Chattahoochee, we've got some electric there. I think, where is the one? Huh. There you go. Notable projects that have been approved under Public Assistance Grant Program. The Bay District Schools, $2.8 million for repair to 6 Lynn Haven Elementary School buildings and replacement of 13 buildings. There you go. Jackson Hospital. Oh my goodness, that's good. 1.1. Family of God Baptist Church. What? Do churches pay taxes? I'm kind of confused right now. When did churches start paying taxes? And when did churches start getting money from the government to help with things? 1.3, almost $1.4 million to a Baptist church? It says right here, the FEMA Public Assistance Program aids state, tribal, and local governments and certain types of private nonprofit organizations so that the impacted areas can quickly respond and recover from major disasters. Okay, this is great. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Neil Dunn, right? Not Neil Dunn, George Gaynor. Thank you so much for putting this out there, right? You're saying that we're doing this, but really? Family of God? Family of God. All right. So I found that very interesting. When I was looking through there, I was like, $1.4 million for a church. But by the way, this government's coming from the federal government, not from the state. So let's make sure DeSantis is taking this. And I do want to say out there that, First Lady DeSantis, I hope for a quick and fast recovery. Breast cancer is not something that cancer is not something I wish on anyone. And I think we all agree to that. So I just want to put out I know that many people are praying for you, First Lady DeSantis, and I hope that you get better very quickly and that this will help you realize what's most important in life, because usually that's what major life events do. So, all right. Next up, so we talked about Neil Dunn, Gaynor. Let's look and see if there's any new candidates out there. So let me go ahead and we will see. Do we have any? And this was an idea that was given to me to see if there were any new candidates that had been put out on the Supervisor Elections website. So just like we did before, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk you guys through. It's super easy to get here. You actually can go to current elections, and this will show you everything that's up. Now, I do want to say, we have quite a bit of re-elections, and I have a different sheet I'm going to share with you guys here in a little bit. So we do have that. I don't know where that went. There we go. All right. So let's go to candidates and committees, and we're going to go to current candidates and finances. And let's see, do we have anybody who has filed for anything yet for 2022? We're going to hit go, and that's general election. So I don't know what day Mark is going to start putting people out here because they can start putting in their paperwork and doing things. I did my paperwork in December, but we should start to see the other elections coming in here because we are going to have quite a bit. So at this point, we're not seeing anything there. So I'm going to stop sharing that tab. So we don't have anything new there. So let's go and share over at the other level, at the higher level with there we go, the Florida Division of Elections. So we're going to just do the 2022 election, general election. And let's see who has put in their paperwork to run against Neil Dunn. All right. So as of this point, we have Neil Dunn is the incumbent. We have Mark Christopher Garrett, who is an NPA, who has put in paperwork to run against Neil Dunn. We have Alan Frank Rutherford, who's an NPA, who has put in his paperwork to run against Neil Dunn. And then Karen Stripling, who's a Democrat, who has put in her paperwork to run against Neil Dunn. All right, so we've got that. That's Neil Dunn. Governor, holy crap, there's a lot of people have put in for their governor, right? And because he's already the governor, doesn't he have to put in paperwork to still be the governor, right? Neil Dunn had to put in his paperwork. So why hasn't DeSantis put in his paperwork yet? Because honestly, you guys, there's only one Republican that has even dared to go into the governor's race. Wow, that's a little interesting. Nobody for Attorney General, nobody for Chief Financial Officer, Commissioner of Agriculture. Now, of course, Nikki Fried is going to be running over here because she put in her thing. So Florida, and this is an interesting thing that I didn't know. Florida is a resign to run state. So you have to resign your particular position to be able to run. So Nikki has to resign and not rerun for what she did because she's running there. All right, state attorney. We got two people that are running there. All right, state senator. At this point for District 2, we've only got George Gaynor. But again, these districts may change, but I find that very interesting why there isn't any Jay Trumbull, but maybe Jay Trumbull's not running right away. I don't know, because he can't run for, because District 6 is us, and that is Brian Cloudis and Phil Griffiths. So let's go see Brian Cloudis. Let's go look at his campaign finance activity because he just filled in a whole bunch more money. So he's trying to make it. So the month with his kickoff, he made $6,000. So he's made $18,000 so far for that. That's not too bad. Go, Brian. Of course, let's go and we can go look at Phil Griffiths, and let's just see his campaign finance activity. Yep, he's got $119,000, and he spent $100 all to date. Let's see. Let's actually submit query now. What happened and where did he spend his money in July? Right? What is the expense? Right? Oh, some of these, the amounts, some of them are in. Old School Publishing for the newspaper. I thought it looked like he had more. I did the wrong thing. Oh, that was contributions. No, I need expenditures. Yes. Doster Accounting Services and Antidote. Okay, credit card processing fees. So this is what's out there, y'all. So go check it out. I've been trying to keep up to see if anybody new's coming to watch what has been going on with the paperwork. So very good. So thinking about these items and thinking about what is up for election next year. So I'm going to put this over here on the screen with my face behind it. So we have quite a few local elections, Callaway, Mexico Beach, Panama City Beach, and Springfield. And then in August, we have quite a bit as well with school boards. We've got circuit courts. We have a lot of primaries and local because we will have 3 Bay County commissioners coming up because of Griffiths running for Jay Trumbull's spot. He has to resign from the commission. So it's so much fun trying to figure out where all of these white men are going. Because at this point, that's the majority of the people we have elected here in Bay County. Did I say that out loud? I did. Imagine that. Imagine Bay County if we had more women elected or people who weren't white. That would be a different place. So we've got a lot going on. So next year is a big election year. If you know anybody who wants to run for anything, let me know. I can help them. I want us to get good, honest people elected in our county, which I believe is something that all of us want. It's what everybody says they want. So let's get some honest people, because at this point, if you go and you look at everybody who has gone down, who has been taken down by all this FEMA money and all these investigations, every single one of them so far has been a Republican. That's a fact. Can't make that up. All right. PCB, recall of Mayor Mark Sheldon. That is going on right now. I got to tell you, I just, every Sunday they've been doing it out at Popeye Park. And it's been very fun thing that's been going on for them, because trying to get this recall election done, it is the first time it has happened, but it almost wasn't. So, and I know Bernie knows this because I made sure that I had told a couple people. I was working on the recall of Mayor Mike Thomas, and Hurricane Michael hit. And it's just, you have to pick your battles. And trying to run a recall election with a hurricane, and he was going to be gone anyhow, it was not going to be able to work the way that it needed to be. But Mayor Mark Sheldon, I'm so happy that somebody has decided to do this. So speaking of my buddy, Mayor Mike Thomas, he has come up a couple times today. And, Mike Thomas and I definitely were not the best of friends. But I just want to put on the screen here this great Facebook post. And thank you, Bernie, for sharing. I know me and Bernie don't agree on a lot of things, but some things we do. And this was just an hysterical one. So 5 years ago, Mayor Mike Thomas, he was trying to demand 25 VIP Trump rally tickets for himself and each member of the city council, right? He was denied, right? But the funny part is, and this is what people don't realize, I actually went up in front of Mayor Mike Thomas and the whole group, right? Because guess what? He never made Trump pay for the rally the way that everybody else has to pay for Aaron Besant Park. So Mayor Mike Thomas said, and it is on video and I have it, that any presidential candidate or president that comes to Panama City Beach will get the same treatment. So basically, I'm putting it out there right now. Anybody out there who wants to run for the president, let's see, Joe Biden, it's $3,000 come to Panama City Beach, because Mayor Mike Thomas made a precedence for it. And I got him to say it out loud that he would do it for anyone. Now, I know new mayors may want to decide not to, but you set a precedence and you can't go back on it, because Mayor Mike Thomas did that for all of us. So thank you, Mike Thomas. I appreciate you setting precedents for not making elected officials pay normal rates to use Aaron Besant Park. And we're going to take advantage of that coming in the future. Just wait. All right. Keep watching for more on local corruption. We know more is going to keep coming. It's not ending. It is just never ending, never ending, never ending. So I think I went through everything. If you do want to sign that, I know every Sunday at Popeye Park, they're out with the Recall Mayor Recall Mayor Mark Sheldon. You can absolutely go out and get that. And I know Thursday night, 6 p.m., city council meeting. And Bernie said there might be a couple more people who are going to be on the recall list. This is going to be pretty fun. Panama City Beach, corruption. We all choose who we elect. And it's time we elect good people. And it's time we elect people that tell the truth. And that's the hard part, is that when you have people that deceive you from the beginning, it's hard to catch it sometimes, right? With the gaslighting. Many people believed Mark Sheldon and didn't even know what he did or how much tax money he took from us. But there it goes. So we have been on here for quite a while, and I am so excited for this happy Monday. I am going to go get on to some more fun stuff this evening, but I wanted to put out some events that are happening this weekend. Let's see, Thursday night in Lynn Haven, you have the fall concert series. My goodness, go do it. That's amazing. Friday downtown, starting at 6 p.m. is the poker run, and it is going to end with a drag show and a glass blowing, and it's going to be amazing. So it starts at 6 p.m. at the House of Henry. You want to come and see me. I am the first stop at the House of Henry for the poker run, and it is going to be a great time. So it starts there and it ends down where the old Fiesta was at the glass blowing. We're going to drag show, glass blowing. It's going to be amazing. Also on Fridays when the PCB Oktoberfest starts, I believe it's this weekend, and Sunday is drag brunch as well at the House of Henry. And if you haven't been to a drag brunch yet, that is a really fun thing to do. Farmers markets always going on in the weekends. Take time, go out there, be with your loved ones, go do things in nature, go to a park, go love each other, be kind to each other. And remember, kindness is our path forward. Bullying, name calling, this us versus them mentality, this is not who we are. We want to work together here in Bay County. We want to work as a group that loves each other and works for each other. That's what we say. That's what I hear. Now we have to go do it. So go do the kind thing. And World Kindness Day is coming November 13th. So be on the lookout. There's going to be some awesome stuff coming for World Kindness Day. So I hope you guys have a great week, 2 weeks actually. And then I will see you in a couple weeks with some more information. And before now and then, I'm going to send you guys and put this out. And again, anybody who wants to run for office, we got to get some good people elected. I'm here to help you. And I hope that everybody has a great week. See you later. Be kind to all.